Hello, this is Colleen Pearl, the Cool Crone, and welcome back to my channel. Today's video is the March Tarotscope for the sign of Scorpio. Scorpio, I want you to know that when I started the March Tarotscopes this month, I had decided to use only decks that I was completely familiar with, except for my oracle cards, until I came to you. And then I decided that I had to give you the Hermetic Tarot, which I'm not as familiar with, and which has incredibly detailed, interesting meanings that really deviate from the Rider-Waite. So I've read through the basic meanings. I think I can hold them in my head long enough to give you a pretty good reading. And then I have some oracle cards. So it is again, the Hermetic Tarot, which is fascinating to me. I will be studying these cards for years to come. They're just amazing in their detail. And the Mystic Sisters Oracle by Emily Balivet, which is equally interesting. All right, let's start out the first week. Oh, I've shuffled. I've laid out this is week 1, 2, 3, and 4, and let's get going. We start out with the Hierophant, Magus of the Eternal Gods. In this card, we see the ultimate in spirituality. This is the person who is the highest of the highest order of spiritual understanding and is seen by all to be an authority on this topic. So when you draw the Hierophant, you are drawing, now it says Magus of the Eternal Gods, the magician of the gods, not the magician, but the Hierophant, who is in a position of authority and calls upon the highest powers to gain answers to whatever questions he or she might have. So Scorpio, that's you. You start out in that position where you're totally connected to a higher power and you're operating in the realm of the celestial. Unfortunately, it's followed by the Seven of Swords, which is Lord of Unstable Effort. So for the Seven of Swords, we see a lack of success, a lack of ability to produce. You haven't made the grade in this first week of March. Something is lacking. You probably know it, and you're going to strive to rectify this situation throughout the month. And then the next one we have is the Eight of Wands, which means that a whole lot of stuff is going to be coming at you. Yeah. So the meaning from the book for Seven of Swords is actually partial success, yielding when victory is within grasp, inclination to lose by discontinuing the effort. Love of abundance and fascinated by display and given to compliments. And then we have the Eight of Wands, the Lord of Swiftness, which means that just a lot of activity. It could even be a lot of difficult activity, challenging activity. It shows Mercury and Sagittarius there at the bottom. Sagittarius is a fire sign. It's known for swiftness, and that's what these wands are doing. They are moving swiftly, and they are bringing a lot of information or a lot of jobs or a lot of effort your way. And then we have the Nine of Cups. The Nine of Cups is like the normal Rider-Waite, meaning it is Lord of material happiness, so it's showing that your material gifts are being brought to you, that your wishes for material gifts are being granted. So in the second week of March, you do see somewhat of a reprieve from the difficulties of the first week. However, let's keep in mind that this card, the Nine of Cups rather, is showing up right next to the Hierophant, who is the penultimate spiritual leader. So if you're the penultimate spiritual leader, why does the material happiness even mean anything to you? Why are you worried about that, or why are you striving to gain that? That's what worries me about this. Then we have the Ace of Wands, Lord of the Root of the Power of Fire. So you will be starting something brand new that you're using your power to create. There's a lot of activity, as noted by the Eight of Wands, which is very much a great deal of activity. And this wand, this Ace of Wands, is actually a torch. So it is invoking the power of the element of fire, and it's telling you that you must move forward into a new area. And then we have the King of Wands, Now, the King of Wands, this is also fire. So you're participating with fire signs at this point, and there are a lot of fire sign or wands in this reading. And this one, the King of Wands, can be a cruel, even a violent person. So this man is very, very strong and powerful. He moves forward on his chariot in a somewhat out of control way, and this is what you're having to deal with. So be careful when you let loose this wand energy, because it's difficult to control. That's what part of the meaning of the card is. And then we have the Princess of Wands, and she is known as the Princess of the Shining Flame. Now, she is not somebody that you can control at all, but her ability to fight, to be a warrior, to control things, to move forward, is well known and revered. Yeah, this is a desire for power, enthusiasm, and revenge. But she is faithful. Princess of the Shining Flame. Very interesting. And then below that we have the universe, the great one of the night of time. Synthesis, the world, kingdom, perfection, recognition. So something that you're doing is really right, a lot better than what was going on in the first week. You are able to synthesize the information that you're getting from the people around you, and you are culminating here. This is a culmination card, Taurus and the North Node. So this is a destiny, and it's also Saturn. So it's hard work, and you got that. Where did it go? You got the Eight of Wands in the first week, so you've been having a lot of things thrown at you, and you're synthesizing all of those things with the new project, the fire energy, the Nine of Cups, and the Princess of Wands. You're synthesizing all of these things after this giving up before the victory, which caused you a failure in the first week. So you are learning the lesson, and you are moving forward in a great way. And in fact, you have become the Nine of Wands, the Lord of Great Strength. So you're mastering that fire energy, Scorpio. The eagle at the top of the universe card is actually representing Scorpio, because the eagle represents one of the phases of Scorpio that is quite magnificent. The phoenix represents the highest level of Scorpio, and the scorpion, of course, represents the lowest level of Scorpio. But the Nine of Wands has some very interesting iconography in it as well. Serpents and feathers at the bottom, and then suns and looks like talons at the top, and then the wings on the sign Sagittarius. So much, a lot of fire energy in this reading. And you now are the Lord of Great Strength. So you're mastering the fire, you're managing the fire. And so the things that you're trying to accomplish in the third week are going to come to success, I believe. And then we have the Knight of Wands. Now, the Knight of Wands is not exactly like it is in the Rider-Waite deck. It is fire of fire. So he's a lot of fire, but he's not completely out of control. He's fairly in control. His helmet has wings. He's able to literally fly. His horse has a winged horse icon up at the top, and those are wings. But just a lot of energy, a lot of fire. So the fourth week is really going to go off with gangbusters. And then you meet some difficulties. Lord of Success unfulfilled. So you don't manage to succeed in all of your endeavors. But I think, Scorpio, this is here to teach you a lesson of some kind. And not a lesson like, hey, don't attempt that anymore, but a more profound, a more spiritual kind of lesson that it's trying to teach you, Scorpio. And only you will really know what that is. But it does have the symbols for Saturn and Taurus at the bottom of the card. So you're going to be working very doggedly, very determinedly, even though you come up unfulfilled. It doesn't mean that everything is a failure. It doesn't say anything about failure. It says unfulfilled, which means that at a certain later date you may find success and fulfillment in that area. So the lesson is for you to keep working. Saturn is a taskmaster. It's the teacher of the zodiac, And in the sign of Taurus, it's very slow and very plodding. So keep that in mind. And then we have the Chariot, Lord of the Triumph of Light. And in this deck, the Chariot is not out of control and moving at breakneck speed. This Chariot, the charioteer, is Hermes. So he's a thinking god, a thinking man. And the sign of Cancer is up there. So this is a person that really reveres family and security. And this Chariot is not moving quickly. In fact, this card, one of the key words for it is equilibrium, the triumph of light. So this is hearkening back to the first card, the Hierophant, where you are the Magus of the eternal gods. So keep that spirituality in mind. Now let's look at the 3 oracle cards, and I'm going to tell you what they are, and then I'll read from the guidebook what it says about them. Okay. The first one is Matcha, which is an Irish goddess. We'll read about her. The second one is Witch's Brew, and we will read about that. And the third is the Sage Goddess, and we will read about that. Boy, it's really striking seeing that color against all those black and white cards. All right, so Matcha. Protection, defender of the home. Matcha is an Irish war goddess who is strongly linked to her land. She is one of the 3 sister goddesses who could take the form of crows or ravens. She would fly over battlefields, taking the souls of the deceased off to the other world in her black wings. Battle drums may be beating when you draw this card. You may feel something or someone valuable to you is under threat, and you are compelled to defend and offer protection. This card deals mainly with securing your family and your home, but it is also about personal psychic space. Take care to be measured in your response and not overly reactionary. Set your boundaries firmly around what is rightfully yours. So, from this card, I'm really relating it to the Chariot, which has the sign Cancer at the top of it. The Chariot is moving in a more measured way. It's not out of control. It's not just pure unbridled fire. It's got the Cancer there, the water. So it's a lot more measured in response. And then we have Witch's Brew. Cultivate, healing, refine. The witch stirs her cauldron full of the perfect healing herbs to cure anything that ails you. Her whole world is rich with resources, and she has cultivated it all to concoct her potions. Throughout time and through extensive efforts, she has developed skills, knowledge, and wisdom. This goddess is creative, industrious, versatile, and talented. She gives a centered feeling of well-being by the warmth of her fire. When this card is drawn, it is time to develop and refine your own qualities of constancy, attention, and imaginative consideration. It is well worth knowing what you don't know and taking the time to fill in the gaps of your knowledge in your chosen interest. And I'm going to relate this card to the very first card that came up in the reading, the Hierophant, because I think that they go together very well. You have a challenge here. The Sage Goddess. Purification, cleansing. The ancient global practice of burning sage is not only for purifying a space or a person, but also to heighten spiritual clarity. The botanical name for sage, salvia, stems from the Latin word salvare, to heal, which is also the origin of the word salvation. The other qualities of sage when burned, such as giving wisdom, clarity, and increasing spiritual awareness, are also indicated in the name. It's no accident that we refer to wise people as sages. The Sage Goddess calls you to cleanse your sacred spaces, to remove both physical and psychic toxins from your atmosphere, in order to more clearly envision the transcendental experience of life. She offers the opportunity to clear out the clutter of the mind and heart, cut through the chatter of thought, and to find peace, order, and focus. And I'm going to relate that card also to another major arcana, the Universe. So that's what I want you to take away from this reading, Scorpio. Very interesting reading. You have a lot of challenges this month. You and Libra, boy, a lot of challenges. So leave me a comment down below. Let me know what you thought about this reading, and thank you so much for being a subscriber. Thank you for liking. Thank you for sharing these videos. I really, really appreciate that. And with that, Scorpio, I will just say